right, I'm here with my buddy Meeko, and Meeko is a dog that has some dog reactivity issues when he's on the leash. In this video, we're going to go over something called the Engage Disengage game. Now, I've enlisted the help of a beautiful whippet named Apollo that is right over there. All right, can you come on down? Just walk to about that post and walk back about 3 or 4 times. Yes. Yes. Now, this is actually, and just, you can go ahead, come back, thank you. All right, so normally for the Engage Disengage game, what we want him to do is disengage. I'm gonna have you go over there so you can see us both, and we're done with her because he was too intense. So basically you saw I was literally putting the treats in his mouth and he wasn't interested. That means that we are too close. So here we go again. Now you lay down. Good job, Apollo. Hey, buddy. Now you can't reinforce emotions. So that was an emotion. So a lot of people think you shouldn't give a treat after the dog barks at the other dog. That's an emotion, so you can't reinforce emotion. What I want to do for the Engage Disengage game, yes. 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 This is not the Engage Disengage game, but this was basically a distraction. So that time, he wasn't even aware that Apollo came by because I'm dropping treats on the ground. And so it's a little bit of a distraction. Now, normally we're doing the Engage Disengage game. We'd like to, let's face it with me. There we go. We're doing Engage Disengage. What we want to do is we want the dog to look at the other dog, and then as soon as it looks at the other dog, you say yes, or you make a click, and then it turns away from the other dog and looks at you and you give it a treat. You saw when I was doing that, he wasn't turning away. So that's why I was putting the treats in his mouth. That's not the Engage Disengage game. If you like that, what you could do, and I don't know if she's going to come by one more time. I think she's, can you turn around, just turn your head? Is she waiting? Good.
Yeah.
There we go. So that time I was rewarding, essentially not barking the Apollo. Thank you so much. Enjoy your walk.
Yes, thank you guys.
Yes, you did very good. Yes, you did. Yes, now you're like, you got the jelly beans, huh? So basically for Engage Disengage, what I'd like you to do is find a place, and you said that you're down by the big park where there's a lot of people. What you want to find is a street like this that a lot of people are going to be walking by, but that you have enough distance that you can keep on moving further and further away. My test, can I get my dog to sit, and will it take a treat? If he won't take a treat or he won't sit, he's too close. Most of the time, we don't interpret a dog as being reactive until they're lunging. That's hysteria. That means we waited way too long. What we want to do is, as soon as we see that he can't sit or take a treat, we recognize he's getting close to erupting. So we would take a couple more steps away, ask him to sit, and then wait for a dog to come by. If he can stay in a sit and take a treat when that dog walks by, that's the distance. So for Engage Disengage, let's say that there's a person, I'm going to represent a person walking with my hand. So I'm the dog and I'm looking this way and the person's walking. And as soon as he comes to my side, I look and you say yes, I look away to you to get the treat, and then the dog keeps on walking. So what we're saying is looking at the other dog gets you a treat, but because we created a safe situation where you're far enough away from the dog, you don't perceive it to be a threat, so then you can disengage. You don't have to keep your eye on the threat because you're far enough away. And then we reward the dog for rewarding him for looking at the other dog, and through enough repetition, he starts to associate. When I'm on a leash and I see another dog, that means I'm about to get a treat. This is the engage portion of the exercise. So at first you just keep on doing this until when another dog, and then you do this maybe. Every dog is unique, but you want to do it until it's pretty easy for him to snap his head around away from the other dog. So you keep on practicing that, and eventually, if the other dog's here, and and the handler is right where this is. So that I'm the dog. I'm looking this way. I see the person. 1, 2, 3. I just turn. I disengage automatically because I've been conditioned. This is because you practice this exercise a bunch. So after a while, he'll look at the other dog, and then he will disengage from it and look at you. That's when you start using your marker word for the engage or the disengage. So at first we're saying yes when you look at the dog, and then when he hears yes, he turns away and gets a treat. After a while, you give him up to 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if he doesn't by 5, then we say yes, and then he turns and we give him the treat. But after a while, he'll see the dog turn away from it, and then you can take a little bit of time to give him the treat, kind of like this. Sit, sit, So if you deliver 2 or 3 treats that slowly, when I'm going like this, Meeko. So I can go like this while the other dog's passing by. And by the time I release it, the other dog is now past us. Now the idea for this is we want to create a positive association. So let's say we're 20 meters from wherever the street is. So you keep on practicing this until he's disengaging right away. Then I would move to 19 meters and practice the same thing there, then at 18 meters. So, and I would also like to practice from all sorts of different angles. If you could be on the other side of the street and then get him with that angle, this angle. The idea, I know buddy, we're almost done, is that the dog starts to practice it from all sorts of different angles and gradually we collapse that distance. So instead of him lunging or growling, he's getting treats when he sees the other dogs or when he looks away from the other dogs. In either case, he's not growling or lunging and he's getting a positive reinforcement for seeing the other dog or looking away from the other dog. Meeko, sit. Well, this is my buddy Meeko, and this is how you can play the Engage Disengage game to stop a dog from reacting to the sight of other dogs.